Hi boys and girls, welcome to the first week of Code Club, or welcome back to those of you who participated last year. The first project we are going to work on focuses on animation, and animation is basically just bringing an image to life. And hopefully by the end of the next couple of weeks, you will have been able to animate something that looks a little like this. Okay. Might look a bit scary just now, especially if you see the code at the side, but don't worry, we'll take it step by step. And remember, you can pause the video at any time to allow you to carry out steps. And remember, if you have any questions, if you're not sure of something, pop a message on the Teams page. Okay, so the first thing I need you to do is to make sure that you are logged in to your Scratch account. This is super important because if you're not logged in, it won't be saving automatically and you won't be able to share what you have done at the end. Okay, now if you save your work, it will be in this little folder here, My Stuff. That's where all your work will be saved and you can go back to it like that. But for now, can you make sure that you are on the Create tab? And that will open up your workspace, which looks like this. Okay, now if you go ahead and change the title, because Untitled 114 doesn't tell me what you're doing, call it Fireworks. And if you want to pop either your initials or something after it, just in case I don't know your username. Okay, right. So if you've not used Scratch before, the things that we animate are called sprites. They are the little characters. And you can see down here, this guy is sprite 1. Now, we don't need him. So if you just click the bin icon, he will disappear. We're going to make our own sprites. And to do this, we need to use the paint tool. Okay. And you can see the little icon here down at the bottom, the little cat. If you hover over it, it says choose a sprite. We're not going to click just yet. We're going to go up to that paintbrush tool. Okay, so you can click on that and you'll be able to have this workspace here. Now, I wonder if I can zoom in. Notice that they're very, very faint in the middle. There's a little circle. That's where you want to have the center of your sprite so that it stays in one place. We're not wanting them wandering across the screen. And I can show you what happens later on if you don't have it centered, or maybe if you don't have it centered, you might be able to see what happens. Okay, you can have a little play about with that. So we're going to draw little fireworks. They don't have to be perfect. Okay, you can choose any colors you want. I'm just going for this kind of shape, if you can call that a shape. And then you can change your colors. Draw a few different lines. On my last one, I had kind of dots coming out to make it look as if the firework was that kind of splat. Now I've not added the little splats for the pink or the purple, but I'm going to go back and do that. If you click on the fill, and there's this little kind of dropper tool, if you select that and then you hover over, and it'll select that color, so you can go back in and add it and making sure it is a matching color. Then I'm going to do the exact same for the purple. Little dropper. Unfortunately, I can't really see the purple there. I'll need to drop better next time. Okay, so there we have one firework. To create another, the exact same, hover over and create. Yep, and you'll notice there down you've got another sprite and you've just got place to draw as well for red. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to change the paintbrush size so it's a bit thicker, because you don't get fireworks the same size all the time. And I'll remember my dots this time. And I'll go, oh, that's miles out. If you're not happy with that, a quick way to delete the last thing you did is by pressing Ctrl Z. So that just disappears, or there is the rubber tool that you could use. And I'm just going to do one more color. I'll go for 3 this time. Okay, we'll leave that there just now. Obviously, you guys can do a few more fireworks to really make it a bit more interesting. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go and add in the backdrop. Now, the backdrop is the one that looks like a picture. If you hover over it, it says choose backdrop. And we're going to go and use the paint tool again. Now for this, I'm just going to use a black background. I'm going to set my color to black, and then I'm going to draw a rectangle, oops, like that, and then just stretch it out so it covers the entire thing. Okay, now don't worry, I know that your fireworks will be on top of each other, but the good thing about it is you can just click on one and move it out of the way. Okay, so there we've got our 2 fireworks. Make sure that when you're working on a sprite that it is selected, and you can notice that it's selected because it's kind of lined in blue. Okay. We don't want to do any more to the costume, what it looks like. What we want to do now is code it. Okay, and this is where we are going to do the animation. So the first kind of block you'll need is a control block. Okay, that's a lie. It's not, my apologies, it's an event block. So an event is when something happens. You go to a birthday party, that's like an event, so something is happening. It's also what you might call an input, maybe in maths. You're going to need to do something for something else to happen. You can either use when the flag is clicked, so this is this flag up here, or you can control it by pressing a key. So for example, when the spacebar is clicked, your animation will start. There's a drop-down menu, you can choose different things. Okay, I'm just going to stick with spacebar just now. You will need a control. You will need a repeat because we want it to happen a few times. And we're going to use the looks blocks as well. Okay. So for this, the first thing we're going to need is a hide. Now the reason we want a hide is because when the fireworks are going up into the air, you don't tend to see them. It's only when they explode that you see the lovely colours. So we want them hidden at first. Okay. I'm going to pop the repeat in. Now you can change that to repeat 4 times, 3 times, 20 times, whatever you want. I'm going to do it twice just to keep it short and sweet for the time being. Now, obviously, I said that you don't want them to be seen, you want them to grow. So we're going to do the set size, and we're going to set size to 0 so that you can't see it at all, okay? And then I'm going to do another repeat block so that it happens again. And we'll just do it twice for just now. Then we're going to go back into looks. At this point, we now want it to be seen. So we need that show block in. Now the firework will grow, so we're wanting a change size by. Now change size by 10 will be quite big. If I just play it just now, oh, well, it started off small because I've only let it run twice, whereas if I did it, maybe if I did have it as 10 times, it gets quite big. So I'm just going to keep it at 2 for the time being. I am then going to put in a wait block, which will be under control. You're controlling it, so you want it to wait. 1 second is going to be too long, so I'm going to put it down at 1/4 of a second, which is 0.25. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to duplicate this because I want it to happen again. So what I've done there is I've clicked the right hand side of my mouse, gone to duplicate, and I'm just going to drag it in under there. And then I'm going to put my hide block in. I'm going to put that right at the end there. So if I go and press my spacebar, you can see that firework going. I think that looks quite nice. You're going to do the exact same. Now I coded sprite number 2. You're going to do the exact same for sprite 1. Okay. And if you click and drag it, the way that I did there, it'll copy everything over so you don't actually need to do all the coding again. Now, when I do it, the fireworks are going off at the same time, which does look quite nice. What I'm going to do is I'm going to duplicate the sprite. So I've got the exact same sprite going. So if I press that, oops, where are we? And I'm going to try and move one of the sprites. There we go. Again, looks really nice. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back into my code of sprite 3, and I am going to put another wait block in. I'm going to go back to control, and what's going to happen is when I hit that space, that means this sprite is going to be delayed slightly. Okay, so if I stop it running and I hit the space bar, we've got that delay there. So it's going off at a different time. And again, I'm going to go down to sprite 2. I'm going to right click on it. I'm going to press duplicate. There we go. Now it will be overlapped. Oh no, it's not. That's nice. But I'm going to move this sprite to there. And again, I'm going to move that wait block. This time I'm going to wait 2 seconds. So we should have fireworks going off at different times. Pressing stop to stop all the animation. And then I'm going to press my space bar again. And there we've got our fireworks going off at different times. Okay, if you want to, in your backdrop, oops, if I select my backdrop, and then go to my backdrop, you can go ahead and add like a moon or something in to the background. Go for a full moon. Fill, I want to fill that. Oops. And then go back in and do some wee stars. What I'm going to do is I'm going to select that. I'm going to copy it. And then I'm going to paste it. I'm going to paste again. So we can just have some stars in our night sky. Now they look a bit more like flowers. I'm sure your guys' efforts will be a lot better. Oops, I don't want to do that. So I'm going to press Control Z. I'm going to move the whole thing this time. Oh my goodness, that's not what I want. Here we go. And I'm going to put one more in. There we go. So that when I go back to the code, my sprites, here we go. And if I press spacebar, we've got our fireworks a little bit nicer. So there you go. There you have your first animation. Now, when you are done, I would really appreciate if you could hit the share button. So that is there. Here I'm going to say hit the space bar to start the animation. And there we go. You can turn commenting. If you leave commenting on, I'll be able to leave a comment. If you are leaving a comment on someone else's work, remember, be nice about it, be constructive. If you're saying, oh, you could do this and it would maybe make it better, that sort of thing, okay? What I'd also like you to do is copy the link. So hit the copy the link, and or you can press Control C and then post it onto our group, our Teams page, and that way we can all have a look at it. That'd be great. So good luck, guys. Remember, if you have any questions, pop it into the Teams page and I will do my very, very, very best to help. Okay. Thanks, guys. Good luck.